before we actually start the question and answer session with him. So Roman is working with KPIT as a tech lead since 2018. His base location is Germany and he is working for the client Area US. For him, the current competency is C++ and Python. So let's go to the Roman and let's have some question and answer session. Hi, Roman.
Hi.
Yeah. So good to talk to you. Welcome to the Expert Connect. So let me ask you the first question. Uh, I know that you have joined KPITs in 2018. So I would like to know how was your journey with KPIT? What kind of work you dealt with?
When I joined in 2018, it was straight out of university, and I wasn't really didn't know what to expect. So I was put into a BMW project, which was already very like high profile because as a first client, working for BMW was just huge for someone fresh from university. Um, so I was put into a team with 7 different people. I think some of them were also freshers, but mostly like senior guys that were guiding us.
So for you, this was first job as a fresher or
Yeah, this was the
you?
first job.
Okay, okay.
I mean, before in university, there were a lot of what is it called, internships, but KPIT was the first like real job out of university.
Okay, okay. So good to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Uh,
Um.
yeah,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
Yeah. Basically, how it was working for such a big client was pretty interesting because at first everything seemed very overwhelming because I have never worked on such a big project before, and also not in like this kind of big team, and also a team that has to work with so many other teams because this was a huge project. So it was yeah, at first it was overwhelming, but you get
So,
kind of used to it the more you
mhm.
work within the team. And it's very nice if you have teammates, especially senior ones, that can guide you along the way, which happened in my case, and it was awesome.
Yeah, okay. So actually, do you have any idea? What kind of projects freshers may get when they will join KPIT? So what kind of work? Because our students will like to know when they will join the company, actually what they will work upon. So do you have any idea regarding that?
Yeah, I mean, there won't be any like fresher projects. You will be working on like real projects. You're gonna be thrown into the
Okay.
cold water, and yeah, you will learn a lot, especially in the first 1 or 2 years. There's like the ramping up curve is insanely high, and yeah, I mean, like I said, at first it will be intimidating, but later on it will be just amazing how fast you learn new things. You will look back after like 6 months and think, okay, now I know all of these things that I didn't know when I came out of university. This is just a huge knowledge gain when you join one of those projects. And KPIT actually puts you in those projects. So it's not like you get this project where you're just gonna write some unit tests or just gonna refactor some code. No, you're getting like interesting tasks you need to solve with your team. Like there is, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, I would also like to understand, like, are there any challenges that fresher may find here at the beginning because they are from academic background and they are, they are actually real. They did not work on the real life project. So, did you face any challenge in the beginning when you joined?
Yeah, I mean, especially so there are many things to consider, especially if you join a project. The code base is usually much bigger than what you're used to in university, because university you may have like, yeah, small projects with 2 or 3 people, and here we have projects like with thousands of developers. So
Hmm.
this is a huge change, and with that it comes there are more guidelines, more rules to follow, and it's kind of hard to adjust. At least at first, it's kind of hard to adjust to them because you don't know them. You don't know what are the best practice guidelines in writing good C++ code,
Yeah.
because usually in university nobody cares if your code works, then it's fine. But it doesn't matter that your variables are named correctly or that the style of your code looks good and someone can read it pretty quickly. So this is something that yeah, you just need to get used to and basically learn from past experience.
Yeah.
And the other thing is,
Okay.
of course, working in a bigger team and working with other teams together. Because at least for me in university, most of the stuff I did on my own, or with one or
Mm-hmm.
two other yeah, students. But here we have a team, most likely 4 to 8 people, and this team then needs to collaborate with other teams that also 4 to 8 people, or even bigger teams and teams across the globe. So there's a lot of coordination to be done, and it can be kind of tricky to to get everything together. But
Mm-hmm.
at some point, there will be this one moment where everything you
Yeah.
just have a feeling it fits. Okay, if I have a problem in this area, I go to that guy. If he has a problem, he goes to me, and stuff like that. So you get a sense of value for your own work because you can contribute a lot, but you also know who to talk to if you are facing some issues. So
Mm-hmm.
this is like overcoming the challenges and joining a very new, very nice workflow, I would say.
Okay. Okay. Now, since we deal in automotive industry, like students understand C++, they understand other languages like Python, but they don't know what are the expectations from the automotive industry domain. So can you talk something regarding that? Like, can you give some inputs?
I mean, for freshers in general, there is not too much expectations, I would say,
Mm.
when joining such a project, because everybody knows you're a fresher. You need some time to adjust to, yeah, real life
Yeah.
work, I would say. Um, the only thing that is really expected is that you have some motivation, that you try to get better, like every day, coding wise, but also, like you said, in domain knowledge. And the domain knowledge you get depending on which project you're working on. For me, it was like motion planning and yeah, construction site detection was two of the major things I have worked on the BMW project. And I mean, at first, motion model, the only things I knew was from university, like how motion planning is done, basically, in a very theoretical standpoint. But then, if you go into the code, you need to understand, okay, which part of code does actually what? How do they connect with each other? But this comes all with experience. I mean, it's very
Hmm.
good to have some basic knowledge about how others in general works, or whatever you're gonna work on, but most of the stuff will just come from experience. When you look at the code and you try to understand, okay, how do these different modules work together, and yeah, basically then link those modules to the theory you already know.
Okay. Okay. So according to you, what is more important, whether it is domain knowledge or the technical competency, C++, or both in parallel, we need to understand?
I mean, both is the perfect thing, but if I had to choose one, either technical or domain knowledge, I would say the technical, because
Okay.
it's easier to gain, or in my opinion, it's easier to gain the domain knowledge if you have already the technical expertise. Because if you have the technical expertise, you can read the code, you can understand the code, and from there you can build your domain knowledge. The other way around is trickier. Like
Okay. Okay.
there is much more effort to be made. So if you're already a good developer and you know your way around C++, gaining the domain knowledge on the job basically will be much easier than the other way around.
Okay. Okay, Roman, thank you for that. One last question. What kind of homework freshers should do before they join project, or whatever last input from you to our students that you can give us as a suggestion, or
Um, if you know which project you're going to work on, or which with what programming language or in which domain, just get some information beforehand. For example, if you know that you're going to work on a C++ project, but you are kind of rusty in C++, or you're not at the level where you would feel comfortable going to the client and program some stuff, just do some basic coding tasks. Like, I know, when I
okay,
started, I was doing some code wars stuff, where you can just, you get a task and you program your solution in C++ or whatever language you want. and then you get the result and you get some hints on how to do it better. And then if you know what kind of project it's going to be, like in which domain, just read, basically, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
for example, for motion planning, just read the Wikipedia article, how do they do motion planning in cars. that
Okay.
that's already, like, you get the main ideas. And then if you think, okay, you understood kind of how it works, you can also look into some papers, how the different algorithms work, how they do perception and stuff like that. um,
Yeah.
but the most important thing is, before you join a project, be sure that you know the programming language in which you're going to work, because it makes your life so much easier if you're just
Mm-hmm.
comfortable in that programming language. If somebody asks you a question or you just need to read the code, it makes it so much easier if you already know most of the stuff or a lot of stuff there.
Right. Okay. So I mean, good to talk to you, Roman. Thank you for your inputs and time that took out for this expert connect. So this information that you have provided will definitely help our students to join the automotive industry. So yes, guys. I mean, we had a talk with Roman, and we will again come to you with few other experts in other domain. So thank you for joining, and please stay tuned.